This all started years ago, back when I truly believed that being the bigger person would eventually pay off. Spoiler alert, it didn't. My neighbor lived a few houses down. The kind of man who always walked around like he owned the street. Chest out, chin high. The type who thinks rules apply to everyone else, not him. The feud started over something small. A dog. One afternoon his dog wandered into my backyard. No leash, no fence, no supervision. My dog reacted. I was close enough to hear the growling, the scrambling, the sharp yelp that made my heart skip. I sprinted toward the noise, shouting commands, adrenaline flooding my body. I pulled my dog away in time. No bloodbath, no emergency vet dash. But his dog had a few bite wounds. Nothing life-threatening, but enough to send my neighbor into a rage. He demanded I pay the vet bill. I calmly explained his dog was off-leash on my property. Legally, I owed him nothing. He didn't care. He threatened to sue. Trying to be reasonable, and honestly, trying to avoid drama, I offered to pay half the bill. He refused. Then, he dragged me to small claims court. The whole trial lasted about 3 minutes. The judge didn't hesitate. Case dismissed. Judgment in my favor. I walked out relieved. He walked out humiliated. And that's when the real nightmare began. After court, his behavior changed. Not explosive, not obvious. Petty. Calculated. Every trash day, my garbage cans were mysteriously overturned. Bags ripped open, trash scattered everywhere. Whenever he drove past my house, he'd honk the horn, slow down, and flip me off with a smug grin. But the lowest point? He called the police on my 10-year-old son for riding a neighbor's mini bike. And get this, he never called the cops on any of the other kids doing the same thing. Just mine. I remember standing there, jaw clenched, fists tight, watching my child explain himself to an officer while my neighbor watched from his driveway like he had won something. That's when fear crept in. Not fear of him hurting me. Fear of what constant harassment does to a family, to your peace, to your sense of safety. Eventually we had enough. We filed for a restraining order. His lawyer sent a letter promising zero contact with my family for 2 years. And just like that, the harassment stopped. No more trash cans, no more honking, no more intimidation. On the outside, everything seemed resolved. But inside, I wasn't satisfied. I had taken the high road every step of the way. Swallowed my pride. Ignored the insults. Protected my family. And while I didn't want violence, I wanted justice. Then one day, in the most ordinary place imaginable, I found my opportunity. I was in a hardware store, just walking down the aisles. That's when I saw them. Japanese beetle traps, cheap plastic bags, a scent pack inside, designed to lure beetles in and trap them forever. I picked one up. Then I noticed something interesting. They sold refill packs, 4 per package. And suddenly, my eyes drifted across the street in my mind, to my neighbor's front yard. His pride and joy. A massive rose garden, perfectly manicured, loved, obsessed over. And here's the thing. Japanese beetles love roses. That's when a slow, quiet smile spread across my face. I bought 4 packages, 16 scent packs in total. At home, I placed them in the freezer overnight. The wax inside hardened, making it easy to remove. That night, I barely slept. Not from guilt, from anticipation. At 3 a.m., while the world was silent, I got up. I popped the wax squares out, placed them in a small bag, and quietly walked over to his house. My heart was pounding, not from fear, but from adrenaline. I knelt in his rose garden, tucked the wax into the mulch, covered it gently, invisible. Perfect. Then I walked home. That day was scorching. By 11 a.m. it was over 90 degrees. I knew the wax had melted, and I also knew the beetles would smell it. By evening, I went for a bike ride, and there they were. A few beetles at first, then more. Landing, chewing, multiplying. My neighbor hadn't noticed yet, but nature had. By noon the next day, a cloud, hundreds, then thousands. I watched him step outside, freeze. His face shifted from confusion to panic. He sprayed chemicals, dumped powder, waved his arms, but it didn't matter. By day 3, it was biblical. Tens of thousands of beetles, the roses were stripped bare. By day 4, nothing remained. Just torn leaves and thorny stalks. His masterpiece was gone. I stood at my window, silent, satisfied, laughing so hard I had to cover my mouth, and I never told anyone. Not my friends, not my wife, not a soul. Because the best revenge is the one where the other person never knows you won. No confrontation, no yelling, no legal risk, just consequences, delivered quietly, naturally, perfectly. He never bothered us again, and to this day, he still has no idea. Years later, his rose garden recovered. Beautiful as ever, and it will stay that way, as long as he remains a quiet neighbor. Because sometimes, justice doesn't need witnesses. If this story gave you chills or reminded you that patience can be a weapon, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? More stories coming soon. Thanks for watching.